This one's so targeted. So if I'm throwing a wacky rig on Livescope, I'm targeting fish. I'm not, I mean, I will throw out some structure here and there, but like most of the time I see a fish, I can't get it to eat anything else. I am like specifically throwing this in and around his area. Hopefully he sees it, jolts over. The problem is with this is like, I feel like if I move it, maybe it's just my confidence. If I move this thing at all, they ain't eating it. So I basically need them to eat it right when it hits the water because I'm twitchy sometimes. Yep. And that's how it's done right there. Big, oh, it's a giant too. It's an unhappy giant right there. This is my wacky rig setup. So I'm throwing this on a 902 NRX. It's one of my all-time favorite rods for so many things. Works real good with this wacky rig setup I'm using. So I'm throwing this on a DECOY Hunter hook. I'm using the ZAPPU little nail weights. Those are my favorite. I feel like they stay in very, very well. And then just a regular O-ring, probably a Nextone O-ring or something. Let's see if I can get them into the boat. The 6+. This is the not fun part about shooting videos, is I gotta try to be an Olympian here with getting these little footballs in, like, oh. There it is, gigantic one, man. Boom, there's that hook. It was buried, he wasn't coming off. I like this hook, it has a little bit wider of a gap. Some of these bigger fish have gigantic mouths, so yeah, I'm gonna need pliers for that. A little bit of a different background today because we are out here pre-practicing for a tournament. Instead of putting out the video we were intentionally going to put out, I decided it'd be cool to do something again in real time. And this is going to be a forward-facing sonar discussion. So there's a lot of controversy around it. I kind of tend to be Switzerland. I don't really care either way. I use it, obviously. It's a great tool, especially for smallmouth, deeper fish, and just kind of figuring things out a little bit quicker, especially if you're just trying to fish after work. It kind of really cuts down the time to establish whether things are in the area. Now, we're not going to get into all the drama about it. We're actually going to talk about some other techniques other than hanging a minnow, or, you know, the jig head minnow, or, you know, mid-strolling, all of those techniques that are kind of the main things that people are doing for forward-facing sonar. Obviously, we do it as well, but there are 3 other ones that I've been using a lot this week, and I thought it'd be cool to kind of show you guys. And also, this is only 3 of, you can throw anything. You can see how the fish reacts, so you can kind of, you know, gauge whether they're liking your baits or not. But these are the 3 that I kind of always have on, and these are baits I've been touching on quite a bit lately. So I'm going to start right here with the drop shot. We released a video the other day fully breaking down the drop shot, everything I do with it. The drop shot is one of the like mainstay live scoping baits, I'll say. I got it here with the dice. We throw dice a lot. We throw, you know, worms a lot. We throw, I mean, you can throw anything on this. I wacky shot a lot, actually. So I just put a little wacky rig on this guy, and I'll fire this down. This I use almost specifically for targeting structure and fish. Most of this is going to be for that, but this is a really good one for, you know, me trying to hit structure, especially when the bottom is mucked up. Again, all stuff that I went over in the last video. This is a great tool. This is one that you should definitely be utilizing. You can tell a lot about what's going on, what they're eating, how they're moving, just by throwing a drop shot. It's super easy. Everybody at this point probably has a rod for it. You don't need a super specialized mid-strolling rod, and it's just something that flat out gets bit all the time. So drop shot is going to be number 1. Also, this is going to be a shorter video because I just kind of want to break it down as as things unfold, and a lot of these techniques are ones that I've recently done videos on. So to get more of an in-depth breakdown of it, you can check those out. But drop shot, so that Hasdong shot I was talking to you about, the anything dice, the one way is a great dice. I don't know if we have any of the GEECRACK ones left, but hopefully we'll get some more OSP dice in shortly. That's what I'm using primarily when I'm, you know, targeting specific structure, boulder piles, mostly stuff like that. Now, when I'm targeting individual fish that are just kind of roaming. So let's say I'm up on a big flat, I'm in 20 feet of water, and there's just kind of fish cruising around. Maybe they're swimming in the grass, maybe they're kind of around structure but not really on it. My number one for that is going to be a wacky rig. You know, sometimes we will Nico rig it, but a wacky rig is ultra effective. And sometimes it's just good to tell you what species you're fishing. You know, smallmouth bass, largemouth bass react very differently from trash fish. You know, drum and carp, and I mean walleye stack up differently. So most of the time a bass is at least going to investigate something like this coming through the water, where as a lot of the other ones, they'll either disperse or they won't really do too much. Bass are they like to investigate, they like to know what's going on, and they're always hungry, so they're always checking out to see what's coming through the water. The wacky rig is really effective at targeting those roaming fish. If there's a group of 1, 2, 3 or a single one, you pitch this guy out there and it has that nice slow fall down. You can obviously speed it up by putting in, you know, you can put in one of these little nail weights. You pop that guy in there, and that's going to speed things up quite a bit for you on the fall rate, and just adjust it as you go. Sometimes you can go weightless depending on how shallow you are, but they come unchained for this. There's a lot of great hooks on the market. Recently, I have fallen in love with this DECOY hunter hook. It's a little bit of a different shaped hook. It's not quite a round hook. Kind of almost has like a flat bottom on it. But my hookup ratio has been phenomenal on this guy. You can see the shape's a little bit different, has a nice wide gap on it. My hookup ratio is phenomenal. It just flat out catches them. This is the GEECRACK bellows stick. I really enjoy this one. I mean, also a regular Senko is going to work, guys. If you have a million packs of Gary Yamamoto hanging out like everyone does, I throw those quite a bit as well. I've been experimenting a little bit more with the bellows, just on the FFS, and I like that SAF material, so that's salt amino flavoring. It seems sometimes to just get an extra bite or two, but this is a great presentation for targeting roaming fish that maybe aren't fully chasing. I mean, if they're chasing, you can get them to go on a lot of stuff, but if they're just kind of mulling around, this is a good one for targeting them, specifically the wacky rig. Okay, last but not least, so this is what I will go to for chasing fish. You know, this isn't a technique where they generally have to be spooled up or just sitting on a piece of structure. You can really pick them apart a million different ways. You can throw anything at them. These are just kind of my top 3 favorite. You guys could probably guess what this next one is. It's going to be a SPINBAIT. So this is the SPINBAIT 70. This is color Ghost Wagasagi. This has a phenomenal shimmy fall when you pitch it out. So it's going to fall down. It's just going to have a nice little rocking action as it falls. This is also great beyond, you know, pitching at the fish. This is great for moving, chasing fish, or if they're really tight to structure. Sometimes if you just swim something over the structure, all of a sudden your whole graph's going to light up. They're going to balloon up off of it and kind of chase it down. The 70 is a lighter weight version than the 80, obviously, which gives it a great fall rate. I would say up to 15 feet if you're for the forward facing technique. If you're fishing deeper than that and you still want to throw a SPINBAIT, you're going to have to go to probably an 80G fix beyond there, I would say. Now, if you're just covering water with this gives a great return on Livescope. So you can really follow this back to the boat on the forward-facing sonar. You can kill it, and when you do kill it, again, you get that shimmy motion. Generally, they smoke it then, and sometimes they just follow it all the way to the boat. If you're pre-fishing, this is good to see fish that you don't want to sting. I tend to do that sometimes, but just another great technique for overall forward facing, man. That's just 3 really cool techniques. It was just something that I've been thinking about for a little bit, and I know there's a lot of hype going around about that, you know, jig head minnow, that, you know, mid-strolling techniques, which obviously it works. We throw that raid fish roller a ton and it flat out catches them, but these are 3 ones that, you know, I've been having a lot of success with lately, and I'm going to update this. So throughout the year, throwing different things kind of changes. Obviously, we're out here in the middle of summer on the Great Lakes, and this is just kind of what they're eating right now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This is just a little short video, and I like doing things like this, kind of more real time. All right, that's gonna wrap this video up, guys. If you guys like this concept of video, let me know in the comments. We're also gonna have a tournament video coming up for you guys, so something maybe less gear related. I'm trying to mix it up here and just have a little bit of fun with it. So we're gonna have that coming out in the next couple weeks, and then in 2 days we're gonna have a new drop video. It's gonna be a little bit of a fun one with the boys. So we'll see you there, and hopefully you have a great week.